Let me ask you something. Are you getting everything out of your rent-to-own business? If you're not an APRO member, then the answer is probably no. Look, advocacy is APRO's bread and butter. This is why they were created and what they do best. But here's the thing. APRO membership is about way more than advocacy. APRO connects you to the movers and the shakers of the industry, people who've been there, done that, and they can help you do it even better. APRO's monthly webinars give you expert insights and actionable takeaways. It's like having a masterclass for your business every single month. Got questions about complex regulations or sticky situations? No problem. APRO's legal hotline gives you direct access to experts who have got the answers. That's a peace of mind that you can't put a price on. And let's not forget the resources, news, updates, and tools that keep you ahead of the curve. Scholarships for your team? Check. Disaster relief when you need it most? Double check. APRO is your ultimate support system in the rent-to-own world. So stop settling for less. With APRO, members get more. More support, more connections, and more success. Head over to rtohq.org and join the APRO family today. Because in this business, more isn't just better. It's essential. See you at the top with APRO. Hello and welcome to the RTO show. I'm your host, Bu Chow. Today we're covering podcast guest Justin Burns, Director of Marketing for O Pep Appliances, DBA American Rental Home Furnishings, who stopped by the Gerard Norman marketing booth during APRO's RTO World 2024 convention in Orlando, Florida. This is where we had the RTO Show podcast set up for multiple guests to just stop by and randomly talk to us about rent-to-own right there in the convention hall. Now, during several of the next few podcasts we released, these are the interviews that came from those impromptu discussions. This was a great convention where lots of amazing RTO industry leaders and operators came to learn about new ideas and tactics, discuss current rent-to-own events, and buy some new product. You can't forget about that. Just as a side note, this interview literally happened in the convention hall right in front of the vendor hall where the product vendors were located, so it was a little bit loud and alive during the interview. We did do our best to take out the secondary sounds and voices, but we do think that we captured the conversation overall. So listen if you can past all the rest of it and enjoy the interview. Also, I want to let you know Season 4 is coming to an end with the release of RTO World 2024 Flash interviews. That's because it's time for Season 5 of the RTO Show podcast, and the entirety of Season 5 will be done in audio and video format. So make sure you find my YouTube channel, the RTO Show podcast, and make sure you subscribe to us on there as well so you don't miss anything new. Now, you can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, as well as find us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And remember, this podcast wouldn't be here without your support. So if you'd like to become a sponsor for the show, please head on over to the website at thertoshowpodcast.com, click on the sponsors page, and if you're on your phone, click on the 3 lines on the top of the homepage and then go to the sponsors page and show your support through the links. Your help is always appreciated. Thank you so much. And with that being said, here's the Flash Podcast with Justin Burns just outside RTO World 2024 Main Vendor Hall.
Hey guys, we're back at the RTO Show booth right now, RTO World 24 with Justin and Gerard. How you doing? Well, first off, real quick, why don't you say your name, introduce yourself. Who are you? Where are you from?
Absolutely. My name is Justin Burns, Director of Marketing for O Pep Appliances, DBA American Rental Home Furnishings. David's the man, the myth, the legend. But yeah, we're based out of Bloomington, and we got about 54 stores spread out over 5 states. So we're in Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, North Carolina.
We're in Virginia.
Happy to be here. Pennington Gap. Beautiful, beautiful country.
Listen, when we went to Indiana to do the show, to do the RTO World, beautiful. And I love what I saw. I just wish I was in there more. You know what I mean? But I love the area. It's absolutely beautiful. But you're in marketing, right?
I am.
Now, what is the difference between what you did and what you do now? Because we talked about this a lot. You were like in the TV background.
Yes.
Right? And so you have so much to offer, yet we do things a little bit differently here. We're not as mainstream as we should be. How do you tailor what you did to what you do now?
Well, you know, it took me 15 years working in the TV industry to really, to hard work starting from the bottom and learning everything I could to then obviously fall into being a producer and learning that industry. So I'm kind of taking the same approach here. I'm coming in like I'm an elementary school, right? I'm in first grade in the RTO school, and I know nothing. right? I ask a lot of questions. I'm curious, and that's one of the reasons why I'm honored to be here today, because everyone is so, forthcoming in their experiences here. But I haven't truly figured that out yet, to be honest, as far as what we need to do. Now, we all know that CTV and OTT is effective. Where I struggle with is what's the scope, right? We're spread out. We're in so many diverse markets. Is it one size fits all? Is it not? So that's what I mean by I'm still in this learning phase where then I can be like, okay, here's what we're going to do. And this is why I believe it's going to work. And here's, I need to do my homework more. And that's all I'm doing right now.
Well, I'm glad you're here at the show, because the truth is, this is the place to find people who can really help answer that question. For instance, Gerard does this on a regular basis, and you're coming into this to tailor it to a specific company for a specific way in multiple markets to get it done. I actually don't know anybody who does it better than he does, and that's why he's a sponsor of the show, because I'm going to be honest with you, that's why I care about that. But when you're talking about those approaches, because I know we talked about it the other day, have you ever thought, let me do a YouTube, right? So you're going to keep the cost down. You know how to get production done. You know how to write it out. You know how to script it. You know how to produce it. And then as you do it, tailor your YouTube approach to certain markets, like, let's say, a certain way. And you might be able to do a commercial 2 or 3 different ways the same day as you're doing it. Maybe a couple different approaches. Maybe one person is more a Latino American. One person is more a female mom, or whatever the case. Whatever you're trying to approach. And then send it out so that one state is maybe doing something different, but not necessarily so different that the production cost was like crazy. Is that something that works?
I think you're on the right track there. And something that we've talked off camera about was the idea of having, you shoot 3 commercials, right? You got an evergreen commercial.
Absolutely.
Right. You have one that is more conceptualized, scripted, and then you have one that's promo. It's really, it's just going to be the promotion that you're really pumping out right now, regardless of what it is, your big Black Friday, or, we at American Rental, we have a few different events that are big for us. We have our Race into Savings, which typically happens right around the Indy 500, and also our Kentucky market, the Derby. So we kind of have those big promotions. So things like that. I think you're right. I mean, I have the resources, and what I'm trying to do is figure out the budget on it. Because coming from my previous background, the budgets would kind of blow your mind what we're paying.
Yes.
What you pay a professional. And I'm sure Cleek, I talked to John Cleek and his wife, Gracious, they were offering up a lot, and they do amazing stuff. But they're right. It makes a difference. The quality person that you're hiring makes a huge difference. And then, of course, there's cameras. So I think it is, I struggle with what will be enough to get it across.
Wait, Gerard, let me ask you a question, because this is something I want to refer to you. Because we are certain things. You've seen what I've done. I got some scripts out there. We've kind of laid it out. We have a plan. We're starting with this. Next scene is this. Next scene is this. How effective is that, though? Have you seen an RTO versus, let me grab a camera and just put you through the paces? This is my delivery driver. This is what he does every day. Say hello to this guy. This is my birthday. It's not scripted. It's off the cuff. It's more TikTok-ish in the sense where it's real life happening at real time. How does that relate versus, you think, a more scripted approach? And of course, we're always talking about from a monetary standpoint, right? Yeah. Can you get more for less? Or do you really need to go that scripted? Or is it half and half? Is it one of those things where you need to go both because you need to be realistic, but you also need to have a good commercial with all the content?
Honestly, I feel like for a starting point, just using the phone, the scripts are good, but the whole benefit of being in a local market is to have that know, like, and trust, right? So when you do the scripted thing, it's a different level of entertainment. So one of my mentors always used to say, entertain, educate, execute, right? So you don't have to necessarily go scripted to entertain people, but that entertainment factor keeps you, it's like a jingle, keeps things more memorable, right? But I feel like to an extent when it's social media, obviously, like, I think I did one high-end production and I liked it. And like what my mentor said, because he does them all the time, he said, usually that helps with the brand recognition. But where I get the sales or more sales is when I use my phone. Or when we have, he has cameras and stuff, but when it's not a high-end production, right? Because then at that point, it's like, it works, but you just have way more access to this. It's way more affordable. The scripts, they're easy to create. And at the same time, if they can get a feel for who you guys are, like you said, off the cuff, I think that's what brings them in, right? Because like, I don't know you. Well, I know you now, right? But I didn't know you at first, right?
Yeah.
So us having a conversation and meeting, the same thing how I met Pete, it was all organic. And granted, it didn't happen on video, but it's a version of video, what networking in real life is. So if you can capture that moment, I think that speaks louder, right? I think if anything, you do if you can get the high-end production first, you do it, because then again, that brings brand recognition. They'll pay more attention. And at the same time, if you can't, just go straight into what makes you guys people, what separates you guys, what's different, and let them see your team, right? Because that's who they're coming to meet at the store. Like, last real quick story, I did a vlog when I first started doing my marketing company. It was called 12 Weeks to a 10K Agency, because when you're doing marketing, getting to that $10,000 a month mark is like the standard. You got to get there before you take off. So I started recording myself every day, right? I didn't think anybody was watching my videos. I went to San Diego for the first conference where all these people were. And even though they never commented or anything like that, everybody there knew who I was, and I didn't know anyone. And that just showed me the power of video. It's a lesson I can never unlearn, because they watched me. They knew about the times I went to the doctors, the time I went to jiu-jitsu with my son, the injuries I went through, the time I was walking through shopping centers, getting rejected and still keeping a smile on my face and just going to the next one. So they knew who they were dealing with. I just didn't know them. So it put me in a place of being humble, because now I got to learn someone, but then it erased that whole first step of having to close the gap.
I like it. Oh, I like it. He's spot on. I mean, at least, and with so far my experience is, I think it's two different things. It's frequency. What's the medium? So let's just say website, right? I think you want to say the high end material, right? And spend the budget for something that's going to live longer, right? Yeah. So it would be, let's say we want to put it on our webpage, and that's just going to live there, and it's kind of who we are. Yeah. This is who we are. This is our values, and this is why we've been around for 43 years, what have you, right? American Rental. But then I agree with your frequency. I think you do need to find whatever that is. You know, for radio, we have certain stores where some of our managers they're the voice. They are the voice and face of that store in that area, and they know them. So whether it every time her voice is, she's like, hey, I'm blah, blah, blah from your local American Rental store. Here it's me again. That creates what you're talking about. Familiarity. Yeah. People see her at the, grocery store. They understand, and she's able to say, come on in. So if you have those available to you, then yes, I think you're right. It's easy as really quick flipping around, doing a selfie and saying a few lines or a few things. And even from a marketing standpoint, we have done, with some of our advertisers, we've done favors for discounts and stuff like that. We've done quick testimonials, right? We have great. Yeah, we'll really quick. And that is, as you said, on your iPhone, put it in the cinematic mode, and just find a cool background. Typically, what worked for us is our showroom in Bloomington. And we just, I would shoot it just like that, get a couple different takes, and then I'd grab some B-roll, and then I'd just cut it together really quickly and throw some, quick little jingle in.
This guy's a producer.
You could tell when I could see it, and I could see it in the way you say it. I mean, he's cutting it down, he's processing it. I'm taking takes, I'm doing, but
it's a different. The biggest difference from what I used to do until now is that now it's like, oh, I'm holding the camera, I'm manning the audio. I haven't had to do that for years. I was typically producing, and running it. So I would tell the cameras what, I tell the professional camera operator or a director of photography, here's what we're looking for. Wow. It's a collaboration, right? But now it's more like, I don't have a video department. I don't have an audio department. It's me. And I think my biggest struggle, and this is probably a lot of people out there, is finding the time. We have so much to do. So you just have to find the time to do it, and don't overthink it, and then just do it and put it out there and see what happens. I don't think you're going to get it right the first time. You just got to get out there.
Well,
that's something we've talked about.
And this is something that I've learned through my time. It's document, don't create. Technically, documentation is a form of creation, but when you're documenting, then you're not having to create. It just makes it so much easier. And that's the power of Facebook Live. Now, everybody doesn't want to go live, but when you go on live, you don't have to edit. It just is what it is, and it's done. But if they're documenting what they're doing throughout the day, like you said, catch a picture of a delivery driver or get a little interaction with him or her, it's documenting what's happening versus staging. Because when I think the time component comes in is when you have to script and people feel like they have to do a certain thing.
Oh God, I hate it when you put a script in front of somebody and they're trying to read it and they turn it to somebody else, and you're just like, no, just read it normal, and they're like, but I am. And it's like, oh, you're killing me. But I always thought it was a dual-sided approach, right? I always thought the way I'd like to do it is like 6 a year, right? We always have an evergreen. You're going to have 4 seasons, no matter what you want to do. You want to do tax time, you want to do summertime, you want to do Black Friday, and maybe you want to do a Christmas, right? Whatever it is. You got 4 seasons, so you get 4 main, you got 1 evergreen, and then you get 1 that you decide whatever is what you guys want to do. Whether it's your mission statement, whether it's something that you're going to run constantly, but for whatever reason, this is your story, right? So it could be a type of evergreen. It could be 2 evergreen, right? But I think you need to have dual content.
Yes.
Because when you have that, you want something scripted because I want you to say on cue this. I want you to say that we have no credit. I want you to say that we have, free delivery. I want you to say that we have loaners. And I want you to say that we're going to take care of you with the same as cash. And you're not locked into 10 years worth of payments. I want you to be able to say that we carry these brands. And I don't want you to forget it. So I'm going to script it for you because I really need you to say it. But then, like you said, I think there's got to be those times where this is Billy. I'm not reading anything. This is Billy. Billy dropped the freaking cell phone. We're not going to sell this one to you. So be careful when Billy's at your house.
Good. Oh yeah, I think you got a career here. No, but you're right. It just depends on the audience and your medium. If it's going to be YouTube, or if it's going to be on FaceTime, or if it's going to live on your site, whatever the long term is. Yeah,
I like the live on the site thing. He's absolutely right.
I think that, and again, the resources. Not everyone, and you probably know this, dealing with a lot of your store managers, they aren't comfortable. They are not comfortable in front of the camera. They are scared, and then they overthink, and then they're like, I can't do it, and then they don't post anything. So it's, how do you connect with them on a human level to be like, chill. You don't, don't worry. Rule number 1, breathe. Breathe. Correct.
What I will say is, and I've done this several times, and I'm going to end up doing a little bit more because now that I'm more settled into the market, it's video time. I'm going to say this, and I don't.
I've seen this.
I don't want anybody to feel like this. I'm going to single them out of my guys if they're all listening, but I will turn on the camera in the middle of absolute pandemonium. I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. It's just, you know what?
Way to do it.
It's video time. What? No. Boop. We're on. Hey, he's worried about being on the camera. You see that, guys? This guy's worried about being on the camera. I don't even know why, because he's already sold the sofa. All he's got to do is take it over there. Would you believe that? Listen, today we have these sales going on. This is what I want to show you. If you're not careful, he's going to sell this one too. So why don't you guys get this one? Have this in the leather version. Come get it today, and then I will make sure that he calms down by the time he gets to your house. Maybe I'll even have him bring you a smoothie. Call me at.
Oh my gosh, you're a machine.
Well, dude, because I like getting them in, because I feel like if sometimes you don't point the camera at them, they get to go, no. And you gotta be like, no, you're there. Yeah, somebody's gonna see you say no. But of course you gotta want to make sure they're not gonna kill you after it's all done,
true,
right?
True.
But at the same time, I feel like sometimes you gotta jumpstart it. You just gotta breathe. You gotta break the ice. It's got to be okay, because the truth is I can't be here making these videos every day, right? And the consistency is what we talked about too. Because when you break into that social media platform, you have to have a consistency, because people start expecting it. The algorithm starts expecting it. And then what happens? You get into that thing. Document, don't create. You can't do the same thing all the time, because I ran this special last week and the week before. Everybody knows 9 cents gets the sofa. I don't need to hear that again. So it's got to be something different. This guy's delivering today. Tomorrow it's employee recognition, whatever.
You're absolutely right. I mean, and something we would always do in production. Sometimes we are interviewing people that have never been interviewed before, and you do such a great job of it on a weekly basis. But the cameras are rolling, and most of the time, those little moments between the talent, if it's just say a husband-wife combo or what have you on doing a dual interview, the magic is those little moments when they don't realize we're rolling, and we use those. So that, you're right. It's break the ice a little bit with them, and sometimes you're right, just shock and just get them, because then that's when the real human element comes out in people, and they're not pretending, and they're not thinking about a script, and they're not in their head.
And that's when they enjoy your brand, because
Correct.
It's not fake. It's not scripted. It is who it is, even though you have to have that every once in a while. These are who they really are. You go to the store, you're going to see Sam for who Sam is.
Exactly. And I can't do what our store managers do on a day-to-day basis. It's incredible. And the customer, relationships that they have is phenomenal. And when I first started, I would just say as a freelancer with the company, I was brought in between projects. Mr. David would hire me to take, you ever heard of a Matterport camera? Most people know it in commercial real estate or home house real estate. You do a 360 tour, right? You're on Realtor.
Oh, yes.
You do those 360 tours. That's what this camera does. It's incredible what it can do, the capability. So that was something we discussed. And he's like, I bought one of those cameras. Like, get out of here. He's like, do you think you can learn it? And I was like, yeah, just give me a day. I'll learn the camera. And that's what I did. Went to every 54 stores. And you can take a 3D tour of all of our stores. Now we always, obviously product changes over. So we are in the process of updating it regularly. We'll do like 6 to 8 months. But when I was there, that is when that was my first real glimpse into what store managers deal with on a day-to-day. But the relationships, and it's all natural. They are just very genuine, salt of the earth, and they're connecting. And it's like you hear it on your podcast. It's a constant transaction in this RTO world. That's something I'm learning, right? And I have to explain it. And so that's huge. Comes down to being real and being authentic, because our customers can see through they'll see through the BS. Yeah. So that's just my 2 cents, if you will.
The thoughts of the hour. Yeah. RTO World 2024. Justin, we appreciate you coming over here. American Rentals, Gerard Norman, he's a sponsor, and he does the marketing like nobody's business. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to him. Thank you so much. We'll catch you later.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.